Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bolaji and this is Regi School of Fashion. In this video, I will be showing you how to draft a native trouser pattern for a male child. In my previous video, I showed you guys how to take a native trouser measurement for a male child. If you are yet to see that video, kindly check out the video at your own convenient time. In today's tutorial, I will go into details on the measurement required in drafting a native trouser pattern, how to add the elastic rope allowance correctly, how to construct the crotch area perfectly, and many more. Do good by subscribing to this channel so that you won't miss out anytime I upload a new video. And don't forget to keep watching ads on my videos as usual, as this is one of the ways you can encourage me in uploading more content on this platform. With that being said, let's get started. In drafting a native trouser pattern for a male child, I will be making use of the following measurements. Trouser length of 26.5, waist circumference 20 inches, hip circumference 26 inches, knee length 14 inches, knee circumference 14 inches, ankle circumference 11 inches, crotch circumference 18 inches, and thigh circumference 16 inches. I took all these measurements on a 6-year-old boy. So if you don't know how to take measurements on a kid, kindly check the description below for my tutorial on how to take a native trouser measurement on a male child. It's a well-detailed tutorial that will guide you on how to take measurements on kids, irrespective of the age. It can be 6-year-old or more or lesser than 6-year-old. Okay, now I have my pattern paper laid on my drafting table, and I have all my vertical lines measured out as well, which I will be explaining now. From the edge of my pattern paper to the starting point line is 3.5 inches. Okay, this measurement will be used in constructing housing for the elastic rope. So which means the edge of my pattern paper is not my starting point. Then on the 3.5 inches point, I have my starting point line. Okay, so I started taking all my measurements from the starting point line. This is because I'm drafting this pattern for a native trousers, and the native trousers is for a male child. Okay, so that was why I used 3.5 inches for the elastic rope housing. Then I started taking my vertical measurement from the starting point line, and I have my crotch depth for 9 inches. The cross circumference measurement divided by 2 is the crotch depth measurement. Then I have the knee length as 14 inches. I have the trouser length as 26.5 inches. Then I added 2 inches as the hem allowance. So this is the hem allowance line. So these are the measurements I will be using in drafting a native trouser pattern for a male child. Now the next step is to measure out the starting point line by the side of my pattern paper. Okay, so from the edge of my pattern paper, I will be measuring 1 inch forward. So the 1 inch line is going to be my starting point by the side. So the line is going to be the outseam line of the trousers. So guys, now I have my starting point drawn out by the side of my pattern paper, and I measured half of an inch from the edges of my pattern paper forward. Okay, this is just to move my starting point away from the edges of my pattern paper. And as I said earlier, this line is going to be the housing side of the trousers. Excuse me. Housing means the side of the trousers. Okay, we have the outseam and we have the inseam when constructing the trousers. The inseam falls in between the two legs, while the outseam is by the side of the leg. So this side that I measure out my starting point line is going to be the outseam of my trousers, that is the side of the leg. Now the next step is to shape the side of the trousers. Don't forget, I told you this is going to be the side of the trousers, and because the side is not on a perfect straight line, though the trousers is for a male child, it's for a kid, but that doesn't mean I should leave this on a perfect straight line. So I will be shaping this side a little. So firstly, I'll get the midpoint I have in between the starting point and the crotch depth point. So this is 4.5 inches. I have the point marked out. Then on the starting point, this starting point is going to be the real waistline after constructing these trousers. So from here, I will come in by 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch is the same thing as 0.25. Okay, 1/4 or 0.25. In case you don't know how to read your measuring tape perfectly, most especially if you are making use of pattern drafting, I have a well-detailed tutorial on how to read a measuring tape for pattern drafting. In this tutorial, you will get to understand what the small lines you have on your measuring tape means, how to convert your fraction values to decimal, and how to convert your decimal values to fraction, how to read the small lines you have on your measuring tape without rounding it up to the nearest value you are familiar with. Okay, so the video has been linked up in the description area below this video already. Kindly check out the video after watching this one. So as I was saying, I have 1/4 of an inch measured from the starting point on the side. Okay, then I will be connecting this point to the midpoint I marked out using my pant curve. So this is going to be a very slight curve. So don't forget, this pattern is for kids, so they don't have much curve yet. Okay, so which means my starting point goes thus, and I will clean up the former line. Okay, now you can see the shape I have for the side of my trousers. Okay, so the next step is to insert 1/4 of the hip circumference measurement. The hip measurement I took on the boy was 26 inches. So 26 divided by 4 gives me 6.5 inches. So on the starting point line, I will insert 6.5 inches, and this measurement has to be taken from the 1/4 of an inch I measured forward. So from the 1/4 of an inch point, I will insert 6.5 inches. Okay, so I will extend the line downward to the crotch line, then I will extend it upward to the edge of my pattern paper. So make sure you have a perfect straight line, and you can as well reinsert the measurement in order to have an accurate measurement. Now the next step is to insert the thigh circumference measurement. The thigh circumference measurement has to be divided by 2. So whatever you measure as the thigh circumference measurement must be divided by 2, and it has to be inserted on the crotch depth line. So I will divide my thigh circumference measurement by 2, and I will insert the value on the crotch depth line, which is here. Now let me quickly give you this clue. Okay, the difference between 1/4 of the hip measurements and half of the thigh circumference measurement is usually between 1.5 inches and 2 inches. Okay, for adults you usually make use of 2.5 inches. What do I mean by this? After inserting 1/4 of the hip on this line straight down to the crotch depth, from this point, if you don't want to take the thigh circumference measurement, you can just add 1.5 inches. You can see what I have here is 1.5 inches for kids, irrespective of the age. Okay, this has nothing to do with the age. And when you are taking this for adults, the standard measurement is 2.5 inches. Except if the adult has a very small stature like that of a kid, that is when you can use 2 inches for him. Okay, so if you don't want to take the thigh circumference measurement, you can as well go for the standard value. After getting quarter of the hip, then from the point, just measure 1.5 inches forward. So with this, you'll be able to construct the crotch curve. Now the next step is to construct the crotch curve. In constructing the crotch curve, I will place my curve ruler on this point, which is half of the thigh circumference measurement point. Okay, then I will connect the point to the hip line point. Can you see what I have? So when you are doing this, make sure your curve is not too deep, because you are drafting the pattern for a kid. So I have it picked from there, and I will have it like so. So with this, I have the front crotch drafted out. Now the next step is to insert the circumference measurement of the knee. Okay, the knee circumference measurement has to be divided by 2. So I have 14 inches for the knee circumference measurement. Divided by 2, that gives me 7 inches. Which is here. Don't forget, I'm taking all my measurements from the starting point line I have by the side. Now that I have the knee length measurement inserted, the next step is to insert the ankle circumference measurement on the trouser length line. The ankle circumference measurement I'm working with is 11 inches. 11 divided by 2 gives me 5.5 inches. Okay, then I have it there. Okay, so I have all my horizontal measurements inserted, as you can see. So the next step is to connect the points together. In connecting the point together, I will be making use of my pant curve and my straight ruler. So firstly, I will connect from the knee point to the trouser length with a straight ruler. Then from the crotch depth to the knee length with my pant curve. And always put it in mind that you are drafting the pattern for a kid. All your curves must be minimized. It must not be too much. You can see I'm making use of the middle side of my pant curve ruler. Okay, if I'm drafting this for an adult, I will start taking the curve from the line I have here or from this edge. If I'm drafting the pattern for an adult that is male, I will start taking the curve from here. If it is for female, I will start taking it from the edge of the ruler. But because this is a kid, I will move this up to the middle of my ruler. You can see what I have, and with this I have a smooth connection. So guys, now I have the front panel drafted already. You can see what I have. This is the starting point. This is the elastic allowance. This is the crotch depth, the knee length, the trouser length, and the hem allowance. Okay, this is the inseam of the trousers, and this is the out seam. So the next step is to cut this out, and I will be using it as a template to draft the back panel.